Good evening, everyone. So I think we don't have enough people yet. So I'm going to wait like 2 minutes more for us to have enough participants before we kick off the webinar session.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you clearly, my co-moderator. Please, I'd like to help me check in on our speakers for today's session and ensure we have all speakers on board before we continue with the meeting.
Okay, sure.
You are welcome to the webinar, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Mr. Moshood. Good evening, Mr. Faith. Good evening, Aqua. Good evening, every single person here. It's a pleasure being here, and yeah, let's see what we can do this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul.
Please, Faith, do we have all our speakers?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay, I think we have on our
Okay, fine. So we're starting the meeting now. Good evening, everyone. My name is Moshood Dada. I'm a master's student here at this great institution, University Mohammed VI Polytechnic. I welcome you all to the webinar session tonight. As we all know, this webinar session will be exclusively about how to prepare for the upcoming exams. The exam coming, we are already in another week. So by weekend, I think. So we're having master in agribusiness innovation exam and also master in international management exam. So before I go on, I'll be acknowledging my fellow members of the committee, the admission committee. I mean, they are the framework behind this process. So I acknowledge my most senior colleague, Ugadi. You are welcome to the
Thank you very
session.
much. Thank you very much, Mr. Moshood.
So Popola is also here. We have Daniel. We also have our senior project manager, Mr. Kendi Dada. And of course, our African lady, that she's absent today due to one reason. So we'll be starting the session. So we'll be talking about how applicants can prepare for the coming exams, what they need to do, how they should perform in the exams to maximize best performance and results of the exam. So I'll be asking our speakers for today, Mr. Paul, Mr. Kennedy, and also Mr. Daniel, to share with us insights and tips on how applicants can be well prepared for the upcoming exams. So firstly, I'll be asking about, please, what are the most common mistakes applicants make when preparing for the entrance exams, and how can they avoid these mistakes? So these questions go to Mr. Daniel and Mr. Paul.
Maybe I think starting with Mr. Daniel, presenting Masters in International Management.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mikine Daniel, a master's student in international management, and I feel like answering that question, one thing that students should do is adequate preparation. Yeah, and you should not begin to procrastinate till when you have like 2 days before the exams, because I feel like this is the building block, and this also affects every other part of how you will be performing in the exams. Because I've come to discover that one thing that affects your confidence in exams is when you are not adequately prepared for it. Yeah. So there's a level of preparation. I know that some materials have been sent to the group. Yeah, and I know as we go forward in this session, we'll be talking about what to prepare for. But from now, immediately the day that you get, or the day that you got those materials, I think you should have started preparing from that day. But if you've not started preparing because of one thing or the other, I also feel like it's not late to start. Yeah, but adequate preparation is one of the things that I feel like is really needed in actually passing these exams. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Daniel. So Paul, please, can you support that in as regards to agribusiness innovation department?
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, once again. So Daniel said the most important thing, which is inadequate preparation, but I'm going to take it from another angle, not from the academic angle. I think we tend to underestimate the logistics aspect of this exam because it's very, very important to be prepared logistics-wise. You know that you would be needing your laptop. You can't write this exam with your phone, first of all, both agribusiness and Masters of International Management. So you need to prepare yourself, familiarize yourself with the platform. You need to go through Test Gorilla. I mean, just merely talking about it, I've been seeing hacks on Test Gorilla in the last 2 days. So you need to familiarize yourself with the platform. I mean, because I wrote the exam for Masters of International Management, you need to know the structure. There were different sections. I think Daniel will most likely talk about it. There were 16 questions for 10 minutes. So you need to prepare yourself in terms of time management. You need to know that you don't have all the time in the world. And also the logistics aspect. I'll paint a different picture. Last year, when it was time for the exam, my laptop was not with me. I had to borrow a laptop from a friend that I knew a friend. You understand? But before that, I had to negotiate because I know how our power system can be in Nigeria. Lights, there might not be power availability. I had to get fuel. Then I also had an extra backup plan with, these guys that charge in your area. Speak to them. It might seem very basic, but speak to them. A lot of things can happen, can go wrong on that particular day. So you need to have backup of backup, because if you miss this exam or if you don't do well because of logistic issues, it's until next year. You understand? You need to have backup of backup. And also for your internet, it's very, very important. These are common mistakes that we underestimate. The day of my exam, I had Glo, Airtel, and MTN well recharged with data, and they were on standby. My Wi-Fi was on. I had my sister. Everyone was involved in that particular process. So you need to, Daniel spoke about the preparation aspect, but I'm going to speak about the logistics aspect. Please don't leave anything to chance. You need to be, because this is an exam that will determine the next phase of your life. In terms of logistics, we know how our power situation can be as a country. Have backup. If it's that you go to your friend's place that has solar for that day, please make sure you have that backup. Don't depend on only MTN on that day also. So yeah, that's the common part. I mean, in terms of preparation, obviously people will prepare to the best of their ability, but you can prepare very well and still be truncated by Nigeria. Let me put it that way. So please have backups of backups. Your laptop, if you know your battery is not strong, speak with people in your area that can help you with power. So yeah, that's one thing.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yeah, that's very good contributions. And I'll just add to the aspect of internet connection. So preferably, I think applicants should opt for MiFi because, if you are using phone, you might have some calls coming in and this could disrupt the internet connection. So it is better you use MiFi for your connection. And also, it's not a two-way thing. Use your PC for this exam. Phone is not advised to be used for this exam. So I saw Daniel raising his hand. Would you like to add to this?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank God I didn't forget that. Because I remember during my time when I wanted to write the exam, I had to go very far. Because I know that my friends will come to my house when I'm writing the exams first and disrupt everything because they might not even know I was writing exams. Yeah. So I had to first travel very far. Now travel very far, not extremely far, but go to a place where I knew that the internet connection was 100, like literally 100. I knew that I will never have issues with internet connection. Now I had to go to the place where they were using band A because you don't want to be like, you do not want your system to make you unfortunate that particular day. I wanted to go to a place where I knew that even if anything happens to my system battery, if anything decides to happen to my system battery that day, I knew that the power was not going to go up. So very powerful points Mr. Paul just made. Please, your system, then I'm not advising you to actually use maybe connection from your phone because you could get a call. Your phone could just imagine the worst case scenario that could happen to your phone that day. That's how you should think at this point because you do not want to jeopardize these chances because of things that you could avoid.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for the additional information. Yeah, as we have heard, applicants, we need to abide to this, easy rules on the day of your exam. So I'll be moving to the next question. So now, how can applicants balance revising foundational knowledge with tackling new or more advanced topics they haven't yet studied? I want you guys to quickly talk about this, in a very short time. So just for applicants to have insights on how to tackle these aspects. Thank you.
Okay, I think I would go before Daniel. So basically, honestly, let me be very sincere with you. You can't learn everything in 7 days. You can't learn everything in 7 days. What will help you is honestly the residual knowledge that you have for many, many things from different aspects of life. Because for okay, my guy is here also, Oga Faith. He also wrote the agribusiness exam, and he would tell you also that it's residual knowledge of economics that you have before. Economics, business, and it was majorly economics and business for agribusiness. You understand? It residual knowledge from the things that you know about marginal cost, marginal utility, all of those minor things that did not necessarily make so much sense while in either secondary school or the early phase of your tertiary institution. Those are the knowledge that will help you because during the exam, it was 30 minutes and it was compared to MIM where it was multiple choice, we had to type in our answers in 30 minutes and it was very fast. Trust me, 30 minutes would feel like 5 minutes on that day. So it's your residual knowledge of what you used to know. Fine, you can brush up on minor things. For example, the rudiments of economics, how things like average cost, the difference between average cost and marginal cost, all of those minor things, you can brush up on them, but it's majorly the residual knowledge of things you know about. I'm speaking in terms of agribusiness now. I'll let Daniel speak about MIM, but it's residual knowledge on things you know about agriculture, things you know about business, things you know about economics, because I think there was an applied question on what will you do in this case if you're an agribusiness manager or something. It's residual knowledge on and how you can intelligently put those knowledge into writing within that brevity of time that you have. Because I said the exam is more of testing your logic and time management, in my opinion, because you can't read everything now. You can't read everything. Many people are probably working. I mean, in my case, I was confused on what to read for agribusiness. So I was just like, you know what, Paul, you're an agri student, you know all of these things, you should be fine. And I was fine because of the residual knowledge I had. Oh, I still have, you understand. So please brush up your knowledge on things like economics, the rudiments of business, and the rudiments of marketing also. I mean, in the MIM, there were different categories from mathematics to data to business analytics to marketing. I mean, questions that would test your ability to think on the spot, like what will you do in this type of scenario? So for the agribusiness, 30 minutes, you have to type in your answers, like type them in sentences, differentiate between this and that. And one thing our advice is that don't even think of using artificial intelligence that day because you will not even have the time. Trust me. That's why I said it's important to familiarize yourself with the framework of Test Gorilla. It fills up your entire screen when you are typing. It's not like here on Teams where you can minimize, like it fills up your entire screen and your camera is on. There's literally no time to even say you want to type in your questions on ChatGPT and look like there's no time. There's no time. So please, the basics that you know, just try to brush up on them. Don't think anything that pops up in your mind in terms of economics, in terms of agriculture, in terms of business, just read up on certain things. You understand? Just brush up your knowledge on them, and I think you'll be fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paul. So in this aspect, can you briefly talk about the structure of the exam? If you could remember how the exam is structured, so applicants will have the idea of what they are going to face during the exam. Very quickly, please.
Okay, for the exam for agribusiness, I think we had like 5 questions in 30 minutes, but we had 5 minutes to answer one question. So it was a case of differentiating between this and that. For example, like I made an example of average cost and average and marginal cost. Like it might sound very basic, but if you don't know it, you don't know it, honestly speaking. Marginal revenue and total revenue. If you don't know all of these things and their formula in basic economics, it will be very difficult for you. So it was a case of us differentiating between things and typing those definitions out and the differences between them. 5 minutes to answer one question. Once 5 minutes elapse, it moves to the next question. You can't go back to it. You understand? Because it's Test Gorilla. So for MIM, it was a little different. 16 questions for 10 minutes and it was multiple choice. So it's all about time management also. I think Daniel will expatiate more on the aspect of MIM.
So much, Paul. So you basically, you're saying that for agribusiness innovation, it's basically open-ended questions. Like,
yes,
I don't know.
Yes. No, there were no objective questions for agribusiness. It was only for international management. It was more of definition, typing in your answers, typing in the differences between this and that. And yeah, that was it, 30 minutes.
The fact that it was an open entry question. So Daniel, please, can you just talk about this as regards to MIM?
Okay, so as regards to MIM, I'll be very candid with you. I did expect what I saw because first, what it starts with is preparatory questions. So they will ask you 3 or 5 preparatory questions? I guess either 3 or 5. Then
5, it was 5.
It's like example, 5, yeah. You answer those questions, but for me, it didn't, telling you the truth, it didn't make, I was like, why will you give me preparatory? I'm writing an exam. Why do you have to give me preparatory questions? So what I did was I tackled the preparatory questions like they were part of the questions. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So I tackled it like they were part of the questions. And because we had math, so for those people that do not understand math so well, please at this point you will need to understand mathematics because they are very simple mathematics, basic mathematics, ratio, very basic mathematics. I know we had ratio, we had
all this ratio and proportion, but there are mathematics you can easily use your brain to calculate. Now, don't forget that you can use a calculator, but how the test gorilla is because the camera is facing you. Once you put your head down and the camera cannot pick your face after, I guess, 15 or 20 seconds, it could log you out. For me, it didn't log me out, but I know I wrote a test for a particular company and I took my face off the camera for like 15 seconds. So the system has been programmed to log you out if your face, because they just assume that you are cheating. So for MIM, after the mathematics, we had data and decision making. So they will be asking you places like, you could just familiarize yourself with data analytics. For example, where do you use scattered plots? Where do you use line charts? Where do you use this? And you're like, God, where do I use this? Yeah. Then we had things like marketing. So for example, they were asking if you're a marketing manager. So MIM wants to just test your consulting ability, test how far and how well you can think. I don't know if you people are getting me. So MIM wants to test how far and how well you can think. But another thing I now discovered that I guess it was at the 6th or 7th section. Yeah, all they gave us was the examples. They didn't put any test. So that was when I now discovered that these people actually most likely use those examples. So the example, then 10 questions, example, then 10 questions. So the last one was just 5 examples. And immediately I was done with the 5 examples, I wanted to move to the questions. They were now like, thank you, you've completed your test. And I was like, oh man, thank God I actually took those examples serious. But this is not me saying this is exactly what they are going to do for you people this year. I'm just telling you to open your mind to so many. At this point in time, you don't want to take any risk. If you see example and they tell you it's optional, treat it like you are going to treat it like normal questions. I guess that's all from my end.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much for the wonderful inputs. I saw Paul is in his hand, but before I call on Paul, please just give me a second. And I would like to acknowledge our other members here in the committee. And sorry for not mentioning your names earlier. We have Akwa Yebwa, our senior colleague. We also have Constance and also Mr. Ruya. So you guys are welcome to the session. Paul, can you please go on with your contribution?
Yeah, just to buttress what Daniel said, because I also wrote the exam last year and I was very particular about those. I like to score the preparatory questions, like Daniel said. Like there were 5 of them, very easy questions. Trust me, very, very easy. You almost be tempted to be like, why are they asking me? Let me just pick what I want to pick. Let me pick rubbish and move on. But that same last section, I remember it clearly. At that point in time, because the exam is in different sections, like up to 7 different categories, it's for 1 hour, 30 minutes, and there are no breaks in between. So that means you have nothing less than 7 or 8 sections of 16 questions each. 16 questions for 10 minutes. So imagine having like 8 different sections: mathematics, data and decision making, business analytics, marketing, different aspects, economics, accounting, like think of any aspect of the world where questions can come from. So the questions were testing your ability to think very fast. Because now, let's assume you have 16 questions. You are dividing it by 10 minutes. You don't have a lot of time. You can't spend 1 minute on a question. You understand? So how can you immediately think of answers on the spot also? So those preparatory questions, please take them very seriously. Like Daniel said, the last section, we were already tired. So, I mean, you can, for your preparatory questions, you can start by answering like the first 4 sections. You might think that, okay, then there's a tendency to want to pick rubbish at the later sections. I don't know if that makes sense. You're already answering it. You're like, why are these people asking me all of these basic 3, 4, 5 questions that are very simple? So let me just pick rubbish. By the last section, after we answered all of the first 5 preparatory questions, that was the end of the test. You understand? So please take them very seriously. And please, if you don't know a question, don't waste time on it. Pick something and move on. I'll be very candid with you when I was writing the mathematics side, because I'm not a big fan. I don't like mathematics. You understand? I was in my 10th question when I had less than 1 minute. For my last 6 questions, I just guessed. I guessed all through. I was very sincere. The remaining sections were quite easy for me, but in the mathematics, the quant side, I had to guess all through. So please familiarize yourself with YouTube materials on quantitative reasoning. You understand? It sounds very basic, but the ability to answer all of those questions very, very fast It's very, very important. So quantitative reasoning, all of those things. And like I said, your residual knowledge would really bail you out on a lot of things. It will really bail you out on a lot of things, especially in the international management examination.
Paul, thank you so much. As you were talking about the time management, I went back to the time and I was like, during my own time too, I had a problem with decision making. So before I could pick some answers, time has gone. So I was just like, or more. So how would I do the other part of the questions? So I'm trying to urge you guys to be very time conscious. You might not have enough time. You will definitely won't have enough time. So there won't be sufficient time for you to answer all the questions. Be very fast with your decision.
Mr. Faith, I think we just lost Mr. Moshood.
Yeah. I think got disconnected. His internet got interrupted. Thank you very much for your contributions and your enlightenment thus far. So we'll be moving to the next question now. The next question says, are there specific study strategies or resources like practice questions or sample questions? I think part of that has been tackled already. So if you can just say a little more about that, it will be highly appreciated before we move to the next question. Welcome back, Mr. Moshood.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can.
Sorry about that. That was internet connection issue. So I heard when you asked about the next question. So I would just like very briefly our speakers to answer this, to talk about this very briefly, because I know about some practice questions that were sent to the groups, and I believe applicants are taking these questions seriously. So I just want, if there's any additional information our speakers want to give regarding this, very briefly, please.
Okay, so the materials have been sent to the group, and as Mr. Paul said, your residual knowledge is needed at this point. Yeah, you could also do a lot of revision. You could also do a lot of asking. That's why you have generative AI. You could also do a lot of asking AI that what should I expect? This is what I'm applying for. Yeah, this is the best time to know prompt engineering. I'm applying for international management. He has said these sections that we have. What are the likely questions? Materials have been sent. Just adequately prepare. I tell people here, and I've been telling applicants that prepare to a point where you know that even if anything goes wrong, which we do not pray for anything to go wrong, you will know that you did your part. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying in real sense is that just prepare well, use the practice questions that have been sent, and just trust God after.
Okay, I think just to buttress what Daniel said, honestly, I'll be very sincere with you. You cannot have the same question as your next door neighbor, believe me, because of the way the platform works. It's like a database of questions. So as I'm answering one question, it's definitely different from what you'll be answering. So you have a wide range of questions to answer. So that means you are at a point where you are wondering, okay, what else can I read? What else can I prepare for? Like Daniel said, AI is your best bet to like generate potential questions that might most likely come out regarding this particular category. Prompt your favorite AI platform. Like I'm preparing for Test Gorilla, a test with Test Gorilla platform. How are the questions structured? Walk me through the process and all of that. Basically, I always say that the most important thing is familiarizing yourself with the style of the question, not necessarily the type of question. It's not like they will give you a question and you cram A, B, C, D, and you will put it back for them. It's not going to happen because like I said, the questions are going to be different for every single person. What you can do is familiarize yourself with the style. You understand? Put yourself in a situation, test yourself before that day in terms of time management. You understand? You say, okay, I'm told that I have 10 minutes for 16 questions. Prove to yourself that you can actually survive in that kind of situation. Test yourself, test yourself before that day. It's very important. Don't go to this exam with vibes. Don't go to the exam with, I go run am. No, you don't go run am. Please please, it's very important to familiarize yourself with the style of the exam, with the structure. Okay, I have 10 questions, multiple choice that are very technical. Use ChatGPT to generate really technical questions. Stress yourself to the limit. So when you find yourself in the real test scenario, you are comfortable. You are not like a fish that is out of water. You're already, okay, I've seen this type of thing before. I'm comfortable with this type of thing. It might not be the same question, but you've tackled something similar. That's the most important part, because let's be honest, all of the materials we sent on the group are just to familiarize yourself with it. None of us saw the questions before that day. Like Daniel said, it was not what I was expecting. Same thing for me. I was seeing a lot of questions and I'm like, okay, this is probably the first time I'm seeing this, but I've done something similar to this. Now, this cascade also to the English exam. I know we've not spoken about the English exam, but it's the same thing. During our time, Ali sent a practice website where we could familiarize ourselves with listening tests, with writing, with comprehension. It was very important because I think I did that particular practice test like 3 times before the exam day. So when the exam came, I was familiar with the structure, with the style. So please just familiarize yourself with all of those materials and the structure and the style. And I think you'll be very fine.
Paul, you've done justice to that part. Thank you so much. So Mo no go with the vibe, say I go on move. If you know on move, no be too no day too confident. So just be well prepared. That's the logic. That's the thing. Be well prepared. Make sure. Okay. So they mentioned about some platforms whereby we can prompt to give us questions and prepare us on how to get set for the exams. We have many LLMs out there. We have DeepSeek, we have Gemini, we have Copilot, we have ChatGPT. So you can get familiarized with these platforms and get how you can prepare yourself for these exams. You know, it can be very difficult, but then at the same time, it can be very easy. So it depends on how far you can go and how prepared you are for anything you want to do. Daniel, please, I would like you to be very brief with your additional points, please.
Yes, sorry, please. MIM, for people that have applied for MIM, your race is not even against knowledge. It's not a test of your knowledge now. You are racing against time. Like it is a serious race against time. And you could be very intelligent and still not pass well because you want to dwell on questions that I know it. Just let it pass. Yeah. And for the English, please just go on YouTube and look for IELTS. It's literally what they give them in IELTS. So listening, writing, is a replica of IELTS. And I guess with that for the English, and also you speak English, irrespective of the kind of English you speak here, you speak English, you should not have a problem with it. Just to say that in passing.
Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, Alpha. Do you still have the platform we used for our English exam that time? The one we used to practice? Is it among the?
I think the link expired. It was part of the email Ali sent to us when he notified us about MIM and agribusiness. But like Daniel said, it's IELTS standard. If you are comfortable with that style of exam, then you'll be fine. But the test is Cambridge exam. Yeah, we used it also. I mean, we still use it here also for our English classes also. So just familiarize yourself. There's a lot of materials on YouTube. Familiarize yourself with the Cambridge style. Please don't go with the vibe that, okay, I can speak English, I'll be fine. You'll be very surprised because they'll test you on sentence equivalence, they'll test you on sentence completion, all of those minor words that you say during the day. Please, like, you might need to even upgrade your vocabulary during the course of, because they might ask you that, okay, for this sentence, what are 2 words that fit into this sentence? If you don't know all of those things, like your residual knowledge, you don't read a lot of books, novel, you might struggle. So before struggling on the exam day, even if you are Professor Wale Soyinka's protege, please go on YouTube and familiarize yourself with the structure and the style of this type of exams, IELTS, Cambridge. You'll be very fine, honestly. Listening, sentence completion, and reading comprehension. Yeah, you'll be very fine.
Thank you so much for that one again. Another one. So I know this kind of subjective, but then I'll just ask, just for additional benefit of the applicant. And I would like you guys, because I'm very strict with time, so I don't want us to spend more than 1 hour we scheduled for this meeting. So I'll just ask very briefly from you again, my speakers. How can students manage exam anxiety and maintain focus during both the preparation period and actual test day? So I know it's subjective. So I know what works for individuals and how you guys, do your thing when you have exams, but then I would like our speakers to just talk very briefly about it.
Okay, so very briefly, I know, like you said, it's very subjective, and me personally, yeah, I must have everything said. I know that I have friends who, like, if their pen is missing, this everything about them is already scattered. If that morning they are looking for their calculator, is scattered. So what I would say is that first, eat well. This period, eat well, rest well, prepare well, yeah, but ensure that you are mentally, because it's a whole lot of mental preparation. Ensure that maybe 1 hour before the exam starts, you just sit down and you are just resting. That's not the time to study. You don't know what to come out, and that's the truth. That's not the, just ensure that you are in a state
Low
of
battery.
calmness. You are very calm. If not, even when you know the answer, because you are not calm, you could just go and press submit, and you're like, just see. The truth is, just calm down. That's the truth. Calm down, relax, get everything set. Like we said when we started the call, make sure all your connection is working. You find a backup for places that do not have electricity, because we had issues last year, and some applicants could not access, I guess, electricity or good internet network when they were having exams, and they missed the exams. Immediately they missed the exam. Once you miss the exam, that's the end, because there's nobody you want to reach out to, because you are in a competition with a whole lot of people. I don't know if you know, but there is a whole lot. I guess at one time for MIM, they were like 600. Not getting you scared, but you're competing with 600, and they just want to pick like 25 or 30. So it is a whole lot of preparation. That's why you have to be calm. I feel like be very calm first.
Thank you so much for that great input, Daniel. I know some of will be like, is it more than this exam? I've not been doing exams before. But we just want all the best for you guys. You know, this period, this particular course, it is very competitive. I must tell you, it is very, very competitive. And they say what is worth doing at all is worth doing best. So far, you've already put in for this application. You are at this stage. Why not just finish it at the best? Why not just come here and have one of the great stage of your life? So I just believe you guys need to put your best and come out in the best performance. So Paul, do you want to add to that?
Okay, in terms of preparation, I think the most important thing is the psychological side. I can see someone raising his hand. Don't worry, Wax would give room for questions after the session. Don't worry. There'll be room for question, Abdulaziz. So the major part of the preparation is psychological. Now you've been shortlisted for either MIM or agribusiness or the two. In my case, it was the two. And I said, you know what, Paul? You've been shortlisted for the two. You are definitely going to get admitted into the two. So I was already thinking beyond the exam. I was thinking beyond the interview. I was already thinking of the admission offer. So the major part is preparation mentally. You don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage before you start the exam with a mindset that, hey, will they pick me? Will they pick me? Shama Mumi. Apologies to those that don't speak Yoruba. Like, will I be picked? Hey, so many people, I'm hearing the numbers. Why can't it be you? Like, they are going to pick 20 people, and so what? Why can't it be part of the 20 people? You should even be praying for the remaining 19. That's the most important thing. Like, okay, I'm definitely going to get in. Best of luck to the remaining 19 people coming in. That level of confidence going into the exam would definitely set you apart. It's not a case of overconfidence. It's a case of, I like to call it blessed assurance, you understand? So the most important preparation is mentally. Don't put yourself at a disadvantage before you even press start. Like, okay, will I be picked? Hey, you are feeling, I'm very honest with you. Anxiety can come into place, which is very fine, which is very allowed. I mean, you can have sweaty palms, all of those things. It's very allowed. It's part of the process, but mentally at the back of your mind, don't put yourself at a disadvantage. Daniel spoke about the part of adequate preparation in terms of getting all of your gadgets in place. For me, it was the same also. Many people don't thrive in chaos, and so many people thrive in chaos. I, for example, I can thrive in chaos no matter what. I mentioned at the start of the call that the laptop I used for the exam was for a friend of a friend. So it was that morning that I went to collect the laptop by 7 a.m. for an exam that will start 9 a.m. Some people just doing that would scatter the entire day for them. You understand? And for me, If I have something big coming up, a big presentation, a big travel, anything big, I don't like to hit that morning. These things might sound very, very, very basic, but it's you and understanding yourself. Some people, they need to eat before doing something like this. But for me, I could not eat because, of course, there was a lot of tension. You are writing an exam that could potentially change the course of your entire life. I could not eat that morning. There was food, but I could not eat. I was the only one at home. I had to ensure that my power bank, my MiFi, I had backup for internet, I had backup for electricity and all of those things. Please put all of those things in place. But the most important thing is the mental preparation. Don't go into the exam with a disadvantaged mind or a disadvantaged mindset that, okay, this is not for me, I'm just going to try my best. No, please go in with the very best that, okay, I can actually do well, and please sleep well. I had to message because I was working during the course of preparing for the exam. I had to message my team leader at work that, okay, on Saturday, I might not be available in case you need me, or from Friday evening, please leave me. I need to sleep very well, and I need to be mentally prepared for this exam. I think I slept for, 10 hours before the exam. So please sleep very well. It's not the time to be scrolling TikTok the night before. You have a very long day ahead, especially if you are writing both MIM and agribusiness that day. Please sleep very well. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice one, Brother Ali. Nice one, Brother Ali. Nice one. Thank you so much. So know what works for you, as Paul has said, and you have to be prepared, very prepared for this exam. Know how you do your thing, and get to my streets. Be psychologically prepared. Now, I'll be calling on my senior colleague to take the rest of the questions to be asked from our speakers.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Moshood. Thank you for the beautiful moderation thus far, and immense gratitude to our speakers thus far, our scholars in the house, Mr. Paul and Mr. Daniel. Thank you so much. So we're gradually rounding off. Just one last question before we move to our senior scholar and our project manager in the house. So final question for both our ABI and MIM speakers, starting with Mr. Paul. What final advice will you give to students in preparation for the exams and the exam day? I know we've highlighted a number of them, but just as I said, a final advice for the students. Mr. Paul.
Okay, a final advice for everyone. First of all, congratulations on getting to this stage. Trust me, it was not an easy feat. A lot of people applied and you got selected for this exam. So first of all, you need to give yourself some credit that you've done well to get to this point. For some of you, it was only MIM. Some people, it was agribusiness. Some people, it was the two. So please give yourself a lot of credit. You scaled through the application phase and you need to feel confident about that. Daniel is already clapping for a lot of people. So one final advice for everyone, especially if you are writing the two exams that day, please, you would need it will stress you mentally. There's no doubt about it. I wrote the two exams that day, and the first exam was 9 o'clock to 10:30. That was for MIM. The second one was for agribusiness, 1 o'clock to 1:30, and the third one was for English, 3:30 to 4 o'clock. When I was done, I was absolutely exhausted. You understand? I was spent out because it was a lot of mental stress. One advice I would give to you is relax very well. For some people, in my case, before each section, I listen to like a lot of music just to relax, just to distress, no pressure, honestly, because you got to this point and you got to this stage of the admission. Please, no pressure. Don't overthink anything. Immediately your mind says this answer is correct. Most likely it is very correct. Don't second guess yourself, especially when you are picking multiple choice, because we have a lot of questions that the answers will look familiar. For your mind to pick the answer once, there's a great possibility or probability that that's the correct answer. Please don't second guess yourself. Then for those that will write the agribusiness exam, you would have to think before typing. And of course, it's okay to make mistakes while typing. While typing your answers, don't disrupt your flow of thoughts by correcting your errors. Because you might want to type Paul, and instead of Paul, you type Peul. Please type your chain of thought or your line of thought completely first. You can always come back to edit your answers. It's very important. Your mind is telling you the definition of marginal of total revenue. That okay, it's total revenue is total cost plus blah blah blah. And you are going back to edit what you are. Please type it finish, then you can go back to it. It might sound very basic, but it's very, very important. Your residual knowledge is key. Don't second guess yourself. And if you've been shortlisted for either one exam or two exams, or 2 courses rather, please have it at the back of your mind that you can get admitted for the 2. I mean, this my guy that is there also, Faith, he got admitted for both STI and agribusiness also. Many people got admitted into 2. I got admitted into MIM and agribusiness also. So please, you can also do it. It's not for people with 10 heads. You understand? Please, you can do it. You can do it. Let that be at the back of your mind that, okay, I'll tackle each question and I'll answer each question correctly. And even if I don't know the answer, who cares? I'm going to make a guess. And even if it does not work out, who cares? I'm going to answer the ones I know and definitely leave the rest to God. And also, please pray, irrespective of your religion. It's very, very important. Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hinduist, Babalawo, anything you believe in, please pray. Even if you don't believe in anything, please pray. Like, it sounds very basic, but you are in a competition with a lot of people. That 5 minutes to pray can actually set you apart. You can't do anything outside of God. So yeah, thank you very much. I wish everyone the best of luck. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. So briefly, Mr. Daniel, what do you have to add to what Mr. Paul just said?
Yes, thank you. I Paul has said everything, yeah, because I also feel like it's a mindset thing. Yeah, at this point, like you're hearing, as Mr. Paul has actually congratulated everyone. Yeah, all fingers are not equal. Before I did the exam, I told myself that all fingers are not equal, but mine must not be the shortest. That was my own mindset. Yeah, I'm coming to write this exam. I was bringing my A game. I was bringing my A game to it, but I also understood the place of God. Yeah, and that you just prepare well. Just prepare well for the exam. Be calm, as we said before. Ask questions you need to ask. You have 6 days. You have 6 days to prepare for the exam. I tell you the truth, you have enough time. Like, you have enough 6 days. You have enough time to prepare. And I wish you the very best. As Mr. Paul also said, that irrespective of the number of people they are going to be selecting, maybe they are selecting 25 or maybe they are selecting 30. Just know that you are there. The remaining 29 can be fighting for the rest slot. Do you get?
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. So a piece of advice from myself to you, students. Just as you already know, you're going to be making use of an exam platform called Test Gorilla. It's a very, very, very sophisticated platform that detects a number of things. It takes a snapshot of your picture every 30 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So if you have ulterior motives already, please be careful so that you don't automatically disqualify yourself even before the exam is being marked and before the final decision is being taken. So that's a piece of advice for you. And this is the era of GPT, LLMs, and all of those things. Please be smart. Whatever decision you want to take is left for you. You know what is best for you. Please be smart. Thank you very much, our 2 speakers, Mr. Paul from ABI and Mr. Daniel from MIM. So to round up this session very quickly, we have a senior scholar in our midst, which is a project manager in the person of Mr. Kehinde. So Mr. Kehinde will be giving us 2 pieces of advice. So Mr. Kehinde, I'll be moving to you now. So Mr. Kehinde, please, looking back, what one thing do you wish you had known or done differently when you were preparing for your own entrance exam, walking down the memory lane? Thank you very much, Mr. Kehinde.
Thank you so much, Faith, and to my amiable speaker, Paul, Daniel, and some other people there. So really do justice to these questions that was given to you. So for me, like I did my exam 3 years ago, and trust me, you guys are very lucky because you know the structure and some other things you have to put into consideration before you even start the exam. During my own time, we are the first set to write the exam in international management masters, and trust me, we don't even have any structure or how to even go with the exam. But what I will tell you is that the most things you have to put into consideration is time management. Even when you are intelligent, you know what you want to do. If you cannot manage your time very well, you won't be able to finish up. And trust me, we have a lot of people that are also writing the exam with you. And just 1 mark or 0.5 mark might disqualify you. So you have to fill up your answers even when you don't know it. Like what Paul said, he said that he did just 4 questions and he had to just pick 6 answers for the mathematics. So that's how it works. So don't think, I've already tried, let me just something like that. No, don't do that. Try as much as possible to fill up your answers And I could recall during my own time, like I said, we don't have structures. And for the English test, so the time was 5 minutes. So I felt like, okay, if it is 5 minutes, probably it's going to be 5 questions, because I did not even know that it was 15 questions for 5 minutes doing the first set of questions, because we have like 7 steps. Like we have like 7, we have listening, we have writing, we have some other questions like normal filling the gap. So for the first set of questions, it was 15. I thought it was 5. So when I, finish up the 5, so I still had like 2 minutes. So I was trying to check the 5 questions so I could get a perfect score in that. So immediately I clicked, like I want to submit. So I saw another 5 set of questions again, and I just had just 1 minute to go. So I felt like, wow, I cannot even finish up this question now at some point. So I missed 10 questions in my first set. So moving on to the second set of questions, so I already destabilized, because I felt like we have a lot of people doing this exam and have already missed out 10 questions for the English. But I told myself that it's just an exam, and though I've already prepared, so let me just flow with it. So don't let the first set discourage me. And trust me, I felt like, okay, the best I can do is just for me to do it. And I didn't even think of that. So what I'm saying is that sometimes you might have issue with your network, or something came up during the exam. So don't let that discourage you. So just go with the flow, do what you can do, and trust me, you will emerge as what you surely get what you want. And yeah, that's the question. That's
All
the
right,
answer for the question.
thank you so much, Mr. Kinde. So a final question for you, sir. From the place of an elder, what mindset or habits do you think helped you succeed that you can pass on to the upcoming students, or the students that are about to write the entrance exams?
Okay, thank you so much, Faith, for that question. Because this is what I will tell you. Majority of people used to think that, okay, I want to do exam in international management. I want to do exam in agribusiness and innovation. Like, I'm a chemistry student. I am Yoruba student. How can I be competitive with some other students that study that core subject or courses in their school? Trust me, when you are doing MIM or ABI exam, those people that want to mark you, they did not even think of you being a economic student or accounting student. What they want from you is to pass the exam. So don't think that, okay, because I'm a chemistry student or physics student, that you don't have advantage than them. No, this is a playing field for everyone. So those your past courses you've done in the past, it doesn't count here. So everybody is the same now. And if you have that mentality that, okay, we are here to write the exam, no matter what some other people have studied in the past, let me just do my own. And trust me, you surely get the admission. And with my research and what has happened from the past, even in a class of 20 or 30 students, you might not even have people that study accounting or economics. You might not even have up to 5 like students that study accounting or economics in a class of 30. Just to tell you that MIM and ABA is a course that is very inclusive, and also in your professors and people that want to pick you for this admission too, they don't want people to just be saturated in one discipline. They want the course to cut across all professions, like all subjects. And a year before you guys, we have like 10 or 15 students from MIM, so that got admission. And out of those 15 students, I don't think they are up to 5 that study economics or accounting. Just for you to know, we have people that study theater arts, human kinetics, food engineering, and some other courses like that. And they were also a match, like they were given the admission. So it's like a playing ground for everyone. So just write your exam very well, and also tell them your motivation during your interview stage. And trust me, you'll be given the admission. So what I will say is that don't think about you not being an economics student or accounting student or business admin student, that you might not be able to get this admission. No, just try your own best and do the exam very well, and tell your motivation during your interview, and trust me, you'll be given admission. So that's what I have for you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kennedy, for the advice. So to reiterate, you're not limited irrespective of whatever course you studied. Everybody's on a playground. Just do your due diligence and be open-minded. As our other speakers earlier spoke, pray, study hard, and leave the rest for God. So we have just about 6 minutes to the end of this meeting, which will end approximately 8 p.m. So the floor is open for 5 questions, please, briefly, for our scholars to answer 5 questions. Please, other questions can be dropped on the group and 1 or 2 persons will answer your questions. Please, so 5 questions. The floor is open for 5 questions for any of us to answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you so much. Why the questions have been asked. So I would like to reiterate some of the points we mentioned today. We talk about time management. You should be very cautious of your time. You should be able to manage your time very well during the exam. We talk about device. It is advised for you to use personal computer to do the exam. We talk about camera. Camera will be activated during the exam, so you should know like they are watching you. So if you have any ulterior motive, be careful, because every 30 seconds, I think, to be updated. And we talk about network to ensure you have strong network for this exam. Don't jeopardize yourself, and make sure you have this exam in a very quiet location. So this will enhance your performance during the exam. So I'll be calling, okay, Mr. Faith, can you help me call on the people with questions? You are muted.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I just discovered. So, the first person asked if phones can be used as calculator. Please, it is not advised that you use your phone as a calculator. Just as earlier mentioned, the platform that is being used, Test Gorilla, it captures whatever is in the background at intervals of about 30 seconds. So if you're not holding the phone properly and it captures you holding the phone, I mean, they don't know what you're pressing on your phone. So it's not advisable to use phone. You can get calculator. It doesn't have to be a scientific calculator. The normal calculator will do justice to whatever you need it to do justice for. So please don't use your phone. Then the second question, okay, this asked by the same person. Would we be asked to speak for the English test? Please, caller Paul, can you answer the question? The question says, would we be asked to speak for the English test? I'm not sure if we're asked to speak during our time. Were we?
No.
You can use pen and ask about pen and paper.
You don't have to speak.
No, you don't have to speak. No.
You're not
you
speaking.
just listen and you will answer the question.
Okay. So you're not speaking for the English test. Then another person said, please, are ABI students writing math exams? Yes, just general mathematics.
For ABI?
Yeah.
Mathematics, I think it was only for MIM. For ABI, it was more of economics. Yeah, but it was not like for mathematics.
There's still calculation, right?
Of course, just minor. It's
so
not that
you actually cannot run away from the calculation. Even if it's 1 + 1, you will do it. Yeah, so another person says for the listening English test, is earphone allowed? Yeah, why not? You can plug your earphone.
Yeah, to hear clearly, you need to use it most times.
Yeah.
So also for the listening, during my own time, I could recall that my I don't know what happened to my speaker, my system speaker, it wasn't speaking. So it was the headphone I hold between that let me able to do that part. So try to be with your headphone in case your PC is malfunctioning.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir.
Before you start the exam, know if your devices are functioning very well before you start the exam. So not to be, in a tight corner during the exam.
Yeah, thank you very much. So any more question? I think we still have about a minute to accommodate 1 or 2 more questions. So just as I earlier mentioned, please feel free to drop whatever concerns or questions you have in the group, and either of us will be very delighted to attend to you. before the exam day, please. Okay. So, okay, one more question. For the English test, do we speak? Will be microphone used? Okay. No, this question has been answered before. You won't speak, please.
So okay, I think we won't be having any question again. And I believe at this point, our curiosity has been satisfied. And if there are any other things you would like to know, I want the applicants to ask in the group. So as Mr. Faith has said, we'll be attended to in the group. We'll be glad to attend to you in the group. So we'll be ending this session now. So is there any final remarks you'd like to make, Mr. Faith?
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Moshood, for the beautiful moderation. I would like to express our immense gratitude to Christiana, also known as African Lady. That's the UM6P Nigerian Outreach in absentia. She's unavoidably absent today. And to our two speakers, Mr. Paul, our scholar from ABI, and Mr. Daniel, our scholar from MIM. Immense gratitude to you both. And our senior scholar and project manager, Mr. Kehinde, we appreciate your time. Despite of your tight schedule and all, we thank you for honoring this invitation. And for our other committee members, Constance, thank you very much. Royal, thank you very much. And our amiable manager and colleague, Akwa Nana Yeboah, thank you so much for the preparation, and thank you for also joining this meeting. We really appreciate. And for the students, the applicants will be writing their exams on Saturday. I wish you the best of luck. The sky is your starting point. Do not be scared. Just do your due diligence, study hard, pray, and the best to be yours. You all ace your exams by God's grace. Thank you very much for joining. See you next time. Thank you.